The sky over Earth was calm, cities were loud, people busy, and life was normal. Until the light came. It was not from the sun, nor from any machine humans had ever made. It shimmered like glass, hovered without sound, and appeared over every capital city in the world at the same time. People stopped moving. Cars halted. Children pointed. And then, the light opened. A tall alien figure, glowing and silver-skinned, appeared inside the hologram. It wore robes with moving patterns and had 6 glowing eyes. The being spoke in every human language at once. People of Earth, the Galactic Council invites your kind to a historic honor. You are to name a newly discovered planet. Your word shall echo across the stars. Then the light vanished. Governments panicked. News networks ran wild. Some called it a hoax. Others feared invasion. But then a small device was found in orbit, a golden cube that broadcast coordinates and a council seal never seen before. The invitation was real. Commander Ryan stood on the deck of the human diplomatic vessel, Nova Wing. Tall, calm, and focused, Ryan had served in space exploration for 20 years. Beside him stood Leia, young, sharp, and one of Earth's finest cultural historians. She was chosen not for her rank, but for her heart and knowledge of ancient languages. They want us to name a planet, Leia whispered. Yes, Ryan replied, staring out the window, and something tells me it's more than that. The journey was fast. Wormhole drives carried the Nova Wing far beyond human space. They arrived at a massive galactic station, an ancient place orbiting a white sun. The station had rings of glowing light, cities on its sides, and thousands of ships from different species parked outside. Inside, the council hall was like a cathedral of stars. The floor reflected light like water. Towering screens showed alien faces, languages, and maps of the new planet. It was beautiful. Green lands, blue oceans, 2 moons. Species of all kinds sat in rows, some with feathers, some with metal skin, some glowing like crystal. They all turned as the humans entered. Human delegation, please stand. The voice echoed. A being called Archon Vitile stepped forward. Tall, faceless, wearing robes of shifting silver. You are to name the planet found in Quadrant 9X. We await your word. May we ask why us? Ryan asked calmly. Vitile paused. You are new, untouched by ancient conflicts. We wish to see what you value. Leia stepped forward, nervous but steady. She had studied hundreds of cultures, but this was something else. She looked at the images of the planet again, so fresh, so full of life. Do we have time to think? She asked. Until the sun completes half a turn. Vitile answered. Later, Leia and Ryan sat in their guest quarters, quiet, wide rooms with walls of light and soft music in the air. Why us, Ryan? Leia asked. They have scholars, poets, leaders. Why ask humans to name something so important? Maybe it's a test, Ryan said. Maybe it's a trap. Or maybe... She paused, looking out at the stars. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they want to remember something simple. Like what? Hope, Leia whispered. Belonging, meaning. When the sun reached halfway, the humans returned. Leia stepped forward. The chamber grew silent. We thank the council for this honor, she said. We name the planet home. At first, nothing happened. Then, silence deeper than silence. Lights flickered. Some aliens gasped. Others stood quickly. One dropped their device. A group in the back began whispering in a language the translator could not decode. Why did you choose this word? Vitile asked, voice no longer calm. Because that planet reminds me of Earth. It feels like a place where life can begin again, where stories can be written, where people, no matter the species, can feel safe. Vitile's eyes glowed brighter. Another alien shouted something and left the hall. Do you understand what that word means in the old tongue? A council member asked. No, Leia said honestly. To us, it simply means where we belong. The room pulsed with quiet tension. We must consult the records, Vitile said. Until then, you will remain on station. And with that, the humans were quietly led away. As they left, Ryan turned to Leia and whispered, "You shook them, Leia. With one word, you shook the galaxy." Leia looked back at the hall, now filled with murmurs and flashing lights. "I didn't mean to," she said. "I only meant to speak the truth." Inside the guest chamber, Leia sat near the glowing wall, her fingers tightly folded together. She could still feel the weight of the word she had spoken. Home. Just one word, but it had shaken the entire Galactic Council. And now, silence filled the space around her. Thick, heavy, and strange. Commander Rian stood by the doorway, arms crossed, watching the guards outside. They were quiet, but their presence wasn't friendly anymore. It felt more like a prison now. "Did you see their faces, Ryan?" Leia finally spoke. "What did I say wrong?" Rian didn't answer right away. He stepped toward her, voice low. "You didn't say anything wrong, but you said something ancient." Leia blinked. "Ancient?" Some of the aliens looked terrified. One even left the hall. "I think home means something more than we understand." Suddenly, the lights in their room dimmed. A soft tone rang, and a new voice spoke. Deeper, older, not from any translator. Human delegation. "You are summoned by the inner circle." They were led through long halls lined with shifting metal walls. Glowing symbols passed beneath their feet as they walked. The guards said nothing. They entered a small chamber. Only 5 council members stood inside, different from before. Older, quieter. They did not look like soldiers or diplomats. They looked like watchers. "We are the keepers of meaning," said one. "We protect the old language, and you have spoken the forgotten name." Leia's heart raced. But it was just a name, a word we use every day. "Not here," another alien said. Its voice sounded like sand. That word was spoken once by the first travelers, before laws, before war, before separation. Rian frowned. "What does it mean to you?" The keepers looked at one another, then back at him. "It means unity, return, end of exile. No species has dared speak it for 10,000 years. Not since the schism. And now we did," Leia whispered. "You didn't just speak it," the sand-voiced alien said. "You gave it to a planet." The news spread fast. Across the station, alien diplomats whispered the word like a curse and like a prayer. For some, it brought fear. For others, it brought memories of a time before borders and war. The planet now called home was no longer just a new world. It became a symbol. Some called it prophecy. Others called it chaos. Protests began in the lower rings of the station. One group of elder scholars demanded that humanity be punished for awakening forbidden knowledge. Another group declared the humans as the chosen speakers. Ships left the station. New ships arrived. Tensions rose. Back in their room, Rian opened a small message device. It was blinking. "Who's sending that?" Leia asked. "It's encrypted," Rian said, "but it's from one of the diplomats." He read the short message aloud. "You have lit a fire. Some will try to kill it, others will try to control it. Be careful. Not all believe in peace." Leia's face grew pale. "They think we did this on purpose." "They're scared," Ryan said. "And scared people do dangerous things." A sudden alarm blared. The station shook slightly. From the window, Leia saw flashes, small explosions near one of the ship docks. A group had attacked, and they were blaming humans. Within minutes, guards rushed in. "You must come with us," one said sharply. "Where are we going?" Rian demanded. "To the core chamber. Now." The core chamber was unlike any place on the station. It pulsed with energy. Ancient symbols floated in the air, and a tall monument of light stood at its center. The full Galactic Council was present again, but this time, in a circle. Fatile stood at the center. His voice echoed like thunder. "The name has been spoken, and now the galaxy must choose. Some want to ban the humans, some want to bless them, but we will do neither. We will listen." The circle parted. Leia was asked to step forward. "Tell us," Vatile said. "Why did you name the planet home?" Leia looked around, so many eyes, so many faces, some angry, some curious, some sad. "Because it looked like hope," she said. "Because I saw green forests and clear skies and oceans, and it reminded me of where we come from. Not just humans, all of us. We all had a home once." The chamber was silent. "We are all lost in space now," Leia continued, voice soft but clear. "And maybe this is our chance to stop being lost, to find something together. Maybe not today, but someday." Vatile's glow dimmed, then flared again. "Then let it be known," he said. "The planet shall keep its name, and from now on its meaning will be known across the stars." Some cheered, some left in silence, others simply wept. But none argued. And deep in the heart of the galaxy, the name echoed louder than any war cry. After the core chamber meeting, silence returned, but it was not peace. Behind the grand speeches and quiet applause, something darker was growing. Not all species had accepted the name. Not all believed in unity. And not all trusted humans. The council, once united in purpose, now stood at the edge of a deep split. Commander Rian felt it first. The smiles from diplomats had become shorter. Guards that once greeted them with polite bows now kept their hands close to their weapons, doors locked more quickly. Whispers grew louder. "We've become a problem," Ryan muttered as he walked beside Leia through the upper ring. "And no one wants to say it out loud." Leia kept her eyes on the ground. "Or maybe, we've become a symbol, and they don't know what to do with that." In a private meeting room, Vatile met with them again, alone this time. "You've caused a wave," he said slowly, "and it is spreading faster than light." Rian stepped forward. "If you want us to take the name back." "You cannot," Vatile interrupted. "It is already written. The word is carved into the planet's code, and now others speak it." Leia looked up, confused. "What do you mean, others?" Vatile's eyes dimmed. "In just one cycle, 27 outer colonies have asked to relocate to home. They believe it is the place of the prophecy." Ryan tensed. "We never meant to start a movement. And yet, you did." Meanwhile, in the shadows of the council, new powers were rising. A coalition of 4 elder species, once enemies, now allies, met in secret. They called themselves the Keepers of Order. Their belief was simple: unity through fear, peace through control, and to them, humanity was chaos. "They speak like children," one said, "but they shake worlds." "We must act before the word spreads," another growled. "Before home becomes a fire we cannot put out." They prepared a motion: remove humans from the council, ban the name, quarantine the planet. But there was a problem. Not everyone agreed. On the other side of the galaxy, a new alliance was forming. Younger species, those long ignored or controlled, found hope in the name. They called themselves the Seekers of Return. Their message was simple: we all had a home once. Let us find it again. They sent envoys to Earth. They sent supplies to the new planet. And slowly, star by star, they began to gather under one belief: that peace could begin with one shared word. Back on the station, Leia was summoned again. But, this time, not by the council. A message had arrived. She read it in silence, her hands trembling. "What is it?" Ryan asked. "It's from an elder on the planet we named," Leia whispered. "Someone has landed there, uninvited, and they are not peaceful." Inside the council, the arguments turned into shouting. "They are corrupting our order." A voice thundered. "They have awakened something pure," another replied. "This will lead to war." "No, this will lead to healing." Vatile stood in the middle, silent, watching as centuries of balance began to crumble. Suddenly, a glowing orb floated into the chamber. It pulsed 3 times. A voice echoed, "An attack has begun on planet home." Gasps spread across the room. Leia stepped forward. "Who attacked?" The orb answered, "Unknown fleet. Unmarked ships, armed with old war tech. Someone whispered, "The keepers of order. They acted without approval." The council was stunned. Vatile raised his hand. "This chamber will vote, not on the name, but on the future." Outside the hall, Ryan paced. "This is a setup. They want us to look weak. They want the planet to burn. Then we can't let it happen," Leia said, determination in her eyes. "What can we do?" "What humans always do," she said. "Stand when no one else will." The vote inside the council began. One by one, members stepped forward. Some stood for punishment. Some stood for peace. Some stood in silence. And when it came to Vatile, he said only one thing: "I stand with the name." The room held its breath. The final vote was balanced. But one vote remained. A quiet species from the edge of the galaxy, long silent in council matters, spoke up. "We were once refugees. We remember what it means to be lost. We vote for home." Their motion to punish humans was defeated. The keepers of order left the chamber, but everyone knew they would not stop quietly. In the distance, near a green world with 2 moons, ships hovered above the clouds. Smoke rose from a valley where settlers had begun to build a peaceful life. But now they were not alone. They sent a message to the council. "We need help. We believed in the name. Please don't let us die for it." As Leia read those words, she looked at Ryan. "We have to go," she said. "Then let's prepare the ship," Ryan replied. "Because sometimes names don't just shake galaxies. They demand protection." The ship Nova Wing broke through the dark skies above planet Home. Commander Ryan sat in the pilot seat, hands firm on the controls. Beside him, Leia stared at the screen, where smoke rose from the green valleys below. The planet they had named was under attack. Alien settlers had come in peace. Farmers, artists, scientists, even children. They had come believing in the promise of unity. Now they were running, hiding, calling for help. "How many ships are on the ground?" Ryan asked. 7, Leia replied. "They're not marked, but they're using old war tech, maybe leftover from the last galactic conflict. They came to erase the name," Ryan said coldly. "They want to destroy what it stands for." On the ground, the scene was heartbreaking. Buildings half-built, fields trampled, homes burned, refugees huddled near cliffs holding on to one another. The attackers, masked and silent, marched without speaking, pushing everyone back toward the sea. But then, a sound broke the air. A sharp, deep hum. Nova Wing appeared through the clouds, its light flashing across the valley. Ryan sent a message, voice strong. "This is Commander Ryan of Earth. You are violating council order. Stand down and leave this planet." There was no reply. But the attackers paused. They hadn't expected humans to come back, and they didn't expect what happened next. Back in the Galactic Council chamber, the air was tense. Vatile stood before the gathered members, his 6 glowing, eyes scanning the room. "The planet we allowed humans to name is under fire," he announced. "This is not just an attack on settlers. This is an attack on the idea of peace." Some members looked away. Others whispered. A few looked angry, but not at the humans. "The council must decide," Vatile said. "Will we let fear lead us again, or will we protect what we asked for?" An old alien with vines across its body stood. "This name, Home, has brought both trouble and hope. But hope is rare, and worth defending." One by one, others began to rise. "We were wrong to believe names had no power." The humans reminded us that words can unite us. We owe them more than silence. On the planet, Ryan and Leia stood with the settlers now. They had landed the ship, walked through the smoke, and placed themselves between the attackers and the people. "You don't have to do this," Leia said to the masked leader. "There's still time to stop." The leader spoke for the first time, his voice low and bitter. "You gave meaning to a dead world, and now the weak follow you like you're something holy. We gave it a name, Ryan said, and others gave it life. That name is dangerous. Only if you're afraid of peace. For a moment no one moved. Then a sound came from the sky. Ships. Council ships. Dozens of them. And behind them, flags waving, lights shining, ships from species who had once been enemies. They came not to fight. They came to stand. The masked attackers looked up and dropped their weapons. The battle was over. Without a war. Because peace had arrived, armored in unity, and the name, once whispered in fear, now echoed in pride. Weeks later, the council gathered again. This time, not to argue. This time to declare. Fatil stepped forward, a thin crystal scroll in his hand. From this day forward, he read, no species may name a world without learning the meaning behind the name. Every word shall be honored. Every voice shall be heard. The law was passed. A new galactic rule, written not in power, but in memory, of a single human word that shook the stars. On the planet home, settlers rebuilt. Gardens bloomed again. Children played beneath twin moons. Leia planted a tree on the first hill. What should we call it? A young alien girl asked her. Leia smiled. Let's call it beginning. Ryan stood beside her, silent, proud. He looked up, at the sky now filled with ships, travelers, teachers, and builders. They thought we were small, he said. But one word, Leia whispered, was big enough to change everything. Far away on forgotten worlds, others began to speak again. Not in hate, not in fear, but in hope. And across the stars, the message traveled. We all came from somewhere. We all need a place to return. And now, we have a word for it. We call it home.